From the Raw Boxing TV studios, your host, Ranger. Information may cause headaches to hates or biased casual fans.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
The host that gives you facts with very little feelings. From the city of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, the man who floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee.
I'm going to show you how great I am.
Louisville, Kentucky. It's showtime.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to once again to Raw Boxing TV. Thank you so much for being here with me, with you once again, your boy Ranger. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. And today we're going to talk about last night's card, with the exceptions of a few that I couldn't cover because there was too many things going on last night, too many fights in different platforms going on at once last night. So we're going to talk about some of those. You've read the title, you see it in the title. And so we're going to be focused on that mainly. In the meantime, I want to ask you to hit the thumbs up as you come in. And if you don't mind, grab the live stream link and drop it in your social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Twitter, or you can drop it in your YouTube community. It's completely up to you. Just help the channel get a little more exposure. There's a poll going on in the comment section. Make sure to take part in that. G Funky in the building. What's up, my brother? Thank you for being here. We're going to allow a few minutes for people to come in and obviously get the house full, so to speak. In the meantime, I hope all of you have had a pretty interesting day so far. I'm still a bit under the weather, still a little sick. Now my oldest kid is sick. My wife is getting sick. The entire household is getting sick. And I believe it's all thanks to your boy. But we cannot complain about boxing. We cannot complain about anything, man. We've had a pretty decent amount of boxing, especially in the month of December. I'd say from the middle of November till now, we've had a pretty decent amount of good boxing matches going on, enough to keep us talking about certain topics. And congratulations to my man Ugas for potentially getting the shot at Errol Spence. Of course, we as boxing fans, we would have loved to have seen Spence versus Crawford, but I am of the opinion that maybe Spence is doing a little quack when it comes to Crawford. And I don't think that fight's going to happen anytime soon. And so congratulations to Ugas. I hope that the fight does come to fruition. I believe he deserves it. And we'll see what happens. Because things weren't going that good for a minute there. The super champ being mandated, that I had never heard of that. So I'm kind of glad that even if it is mandated, that it happens against Errol Spence Jr. Just want to keep you guys remind you guys, if you don't mind, man, just hit those thumbs up as you guys come in, so that YouTube can start sending a notification. And obviously, we'll wait just a few minutes, and then we'll get this show on the road. And so far, to be honest with you, there's been at least a request to talk about a fight between Canelo Alvarez and his potential opponents from a lot of people on Instagram, a couple on Twitter. And I'm going to get to those over the next few days. I will be dropping random videos. I won't be going live for a few days just because my throat's still not doing good. But I will be dropping short videos in regards to these subjects. And if I do like a 20-minute long video or something, then I'll drop it as a premiere. And that way I can interact with you guys on the comment section. And that way you guys can interact with each other. If you're watching from Instagram, if you're watching from Twitch, I want to thank you for being here. Subscribe to my channel, please, if you don't mind. If you're watching on Twitter, as I'm live streaming at the same time there as well, do me a favor and retweet this tweet so the channel can get a little exposure. And if you're watching on YouTube, of course, hit the thumbs up. And if you don't mind, grab the link. Can't even speak. Grab the link, drop it in your social media platforms, whether it be Instagram. Whether it be Twitter, or Facebook. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start this show. Let's start the show out of respect for those of you that are here with us right now. Let me see who we got here in the comment section real quick. Puerto Rican Rung in the building. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, last night, it was an action-packed. And I'll start with the least important fight of the night, in my opinion, which is the Paul versus Woodley fight, because although it causes a lot of buzz, it's had a lot of people talking. When it comes to boxing itself, when it comes to legitimacy in the sport of boxing, when it comes to everything that's represented by boxing, I think that is the least important, the least important fight out of all of this fights that we're going to talk about tonight. And so we'll just go ahead and get that show on the road. Puerto Rican Wrong. That's right. Hashtag Black Sheep. Let's see. G Funky Boxing Salute. The Black Sheep of H. Tony Boswell in the building. Thank you for being here, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support. And be safe out there. So first of all, what y'all thought of the potential knockout of the year of Jake Paul over Woodley? Look. Let's just get a few things. Let's just get a few things out the way here. I get it. There's people that didn't like to see that for various reasons. Okay, there's people that didn't like seeing that for various reasons. But let's be real for a minute here. It wasn't a fake knockout. That was not a fake knockout. You could hear the thump of the glove. You could see the sweat spray, the water spray outside of Woodley's head. And then you saw how the boy dropped like a sack of rice on the floor. The lifeless body of Woodley just dropping like a dry cedar tree that's being cut down in the forest. For a lot of people to say that this was a fake knockout, it proves exactly what I'm saying, that a lot of the people that are interested in these kinds of fight are not real boxing fans, nor are they casual boxing fans. HLD in the building. Thank you for being here, my brother. Thank you so much. So to say that this was a fake knockout, it's a bit childish. It's a bit immature. It's unreal. It's lunacy. This was a real knockout. He took advantage of the horrific stand-up game of Woodley and figured him out and dropped him. I mean, look, let's be real. A lot of y'all fell for and still falling for the whole, 5-time UFC champ. I get it. UFC champ does not equal boxing champ. And not only does not equal boxing champ, this was Woodley has one of the worst stand-up games, or had one of the worst stand-up games in MMA. Woodley was more of the guy that, if he caught you, he would put you down, but he was more of the ground and pound kind of guy. The wrestling kind of guy. The clinching against the fence. But that wasn't a fake knockout by any means necessary. I mean, that kid went to sleep. All credit to Paul. At least Woodley got himself a Rolex. You know what I mean? Like a $58,000 Rolex. At least he got himself a Rolex. So he got knocked out. I don't know how much it is that he got paid. If anybody knows what Woodley got paid, please post it on the comment section so that I can know. I don't know what he got paid. He got knocked out. He got himself a Rolex. He didn't get the $500,000 bonus for knocking out Paul, but he got himself a bonus when it comes to the Rolex. If you're getting paid and you get knocked out and you get a Rolex, come on, dude. I would have taken the offer. I would have taken the money. I'm not sure I would have allowed Mr. Paul to knock me out. In fact, without being cocky, I think he will be in for a hell of a fight because I weigh just as much as him. I'm 192 right now. And I would have taken the Rolex. It's a win-win situation, baby. But it wasn't a fake knockout. And let's be real. Look, I said it the other day. Please, let's make sure we have to be careful when we hear all this nonsense and we promote this nonsense and we share this nonsense of Jake Paul being a legitimate opponent for Canelo Alvarez within the next year, even 2 years, I think is a bit disrespectful. It's a sales gimmicks in the same way that Woodley, 5-time UFC champ. It's a sales gimmicks. It's a billboard. It's a commercial. And with all of that being said, I think that, to be honest with you, I don't think that it's a serious matter. Now, looking at Paul is doing something extremely smart, right? Notice how he's not really interested. Let me get the charger there. Notice how he's not really interested. He's still not interested in fighting a real boxer. Oh, Ranger, what are you talking about? He was about to fight a Fury. Relax, calm down. Fury was another cherry pick. With literally no power. And the fight was designed for Paul to weather the storm, take a few to land one of his own, because the kid has shown to have power. Because at the end of the day, whether these guys are boxers or not, the fact of the matter is he's knocking out athletes. He's knocking out people whose bodies are trained, whose bodies are strong, whose bodies are able to take some type of punishment. He's knocking them out. And so that shows that he has power. So with the thing with Fury is he knew about Fury. He knew that he was going to be in front of Fury. He was going to eat some of Fury's shots in order to try to land some of his own and hope for the best and knock out Fury. But Fury got some type of virus, according to them. That's what they're saying. And yeah, it just didn't happen. And strategically, notice that on the post-fight interview, this is when you're dealing with people that are very smart when it comes to selling a product. Extremely smart. These people ain't millionaires because they dumb. Come on, dude. The $500,000 fake belt that he's got with the watches hanging on it, it's worthless, but it's a sales gimmicks. It creates an image. It gets the young kids pumped. It gets the casuals pumped. It sells tickets. And in the same way that he's interested on continuing to fight, he's not really interested on a credible boxer at the moment. He's not. Because he knows how to subliminally drop little bombs out there, instigating other fighters to try to get him in the ring. But these fighters are not MMA. They're not boxers. These people are MMA fighters. Notice how he very strategically yesterday in the post-fight press, he said that, everybody's on high alert because they see me. I got the power. That's the reason you saw Masvidal and Nate Diaz get up and walk out as soon as I knocked this kid out. Entirely a lie. This guy's got up after everything was almost done. Fight's done. What are you going to sit there and wait to see what this guy's is saying on the mic? Fight's done. Get up and go. It doesn't necessarily mean that these guys are scared of Paul, specifically Diaz. And I know Jorge Masvidal, who started his career on the bare knuckle scene in the streets. I know for a fact he ain't scared of no Paul, but Paul knows that if he can instigate these guys, call them out, and say in front of the TV that they scared of him, there's a good percentage out of 20 million young kids, 5 million will believe it. And if the fight comes to fruition, out of the 5 million, 600,000 might buy the pay-per-view just to see that fight. And if you have a pay-per-view that's selling 600,000, that's a successful pay-per-view. Nate Diaz is not scared at all of this guy. In fact, I quite frankly think that Nate Diaz would go at it with this guy with ease. Specifically, Jorge Masvidal would be tickled to go at it with this guy. Tickled to death. And Jorge Masvidal responded. Let's listen to what Jorge Masvidal said. I hope this fight comes to fruition. I hope the fight with Jorge Masvidal does come to fruition. I hope it gets made over the net, but we'll see. Let's see what he's got to say.
Shout out to Frank Gore. Shout out to Tyron Woodley. The wins or losses, man. The dudes is dogs always with you, man. Frank Gore, you got a hell of a career in front of you, my brother. Now to address that little bit, what's his face? That fucker. Listen, man, you can't fucking afford it. You understand? Me and all the names that you mentioned, you can't afford. I know everybody what you pay. And you talk a big game, you say $50 million here, $100 million there. Bullshit. If that was the case, Mayweather would have took the fucking fight with your bitch ass. But he hasn't because you don't generate that type of revenue. You're giving out free tickets. You got street teams giving out free tickets, man. Who the fuck are you selling dreams to? You can't afford me to come over. So let me tell you a little secret about me you didn't know. I fight for money or to fight the best in the world. You need it. You understand? I know it hurts. But you need the best of the world or making money. I'll tell you what, come on over to UFC, sign a one-fight deal. Then they give you whatever the fuck he's got to pay you. I'll break your jaw in front of the whole world, man. I promise you that. If you really want it, come get it. Man-to-man shit. None of that.
Apparently, Masvidal seems to think that the money he says he generates is not real. And honestly speaking, I don't know enough about whatever this kid does to even comment on that. Masvidal seems to be open for the fight if the money's right. And hell, he's right. After all, Masvidal just lost to arguably a guy that's in a good momentum right now in Usman, a guy who's going to be extremely hard to beat, and a guy that is going to keep that belt for a while. But to say that Masvidal is scared of Paul, or Nate Diaz is scared of Paul, it's just a sales gimmicks. So they're moving up the bar, right? So I'm hoping that this fight actually does come to fruition because it'll make for a very interesting fight. HLD here says, I don't think people are saying it's a fake KO, but a stage KO. Well, I mean, a stage KO, fake KO, I guess, yeah. But I don't know. I saw the punch land. I saw everything spray out of his head, and I saw the tree just go down limp. He's still feeling it. In fact, he's still trying to figure out what the hell happened to me. He's probably watching that knockout over and over and over again. And so, with that being said, man, I don't think that that's going to be a topic to dwell upon that much. Slice Encounter here says, Darren Williams had a pretty good 1-2 yesterday against Gore. That was a wrestling match with a sumo wrestling match. But, that's what we're going to get when we get those type of guys fighting. That's exactly what we're going to get. Maldito Licor, what's up, my brother? Morrell Jr. versus Benavidez, make it happen. I agree with you. We're going to go into that fight here in a little bit. So stick with me for a little bit. I agree with that. But yeah, let's make that fight happen. Facts. Let's see. Paul versus Anderson Silva is a good fight too. He's not interested in calling legit fighters. He's not. It's not going to happen. He's not calling out. Anderson Silva offered himself after the first fight. He offered himself after the first fight. That's not going to happen. He's not calling out Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva will destroy him. He's not calling out a Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort will destroy him. He's not calling nothing that legitimate. He called out Woodley because Woodley is a sales gimmicks. Shorter guy, been retired for a minute, one of the worst stand-up game in MMA, won a lot of his fights. If you get caught, yeah, he'll put you out, but mostly was ground and pound and wrestling. So it was a very strategic is a very strategic choice of opponent. So whenever they chose this guy, they already know what was going on. So, and notice how he said, I'm beating down legends. You know, I'm destroying legends. I beat Paul Woodley, 5-time MMA champ. Was this an MMA fight? Because if this was an MMA fight, I can almost guarantee you Woodley would have destroyed you. Woodley would have raped you from beginning to end. But it's necessary to mention the MMA career so that they can psychologically keep it in your head that this guy's 5-time champ, but just not in boxing. So long as you guys understand that this is all about this, you guys are going to be good. Is this kid even worth being talked about a fight with Canelo? Stop it. Stop it. I keep hearing people saying that, yeah. I mean, if he keeps winning, he should be placed there to fight Canelo. Stop, man.
Stop it. Get some help.
Before he fights Canelo, he should fight like a Caleb Plant, a Colin Smith, a Bubu Andrade, a Yildirim. He can't. If he beats Yildirim, maybe we'll have an argument. Hey, you know what? Well, maybe we should. Yeah. He beat Yildirim, but I don't even think he beats Yildirim. I don't think he beats Darrell with all the power he's got. So stop it. Stop mixing this guy with the real legitimate boxing champions. Stop it. All he's doing is creating more buzz for ticket sales. It's fake. It's all fake. For real. For real. It's all fake. It's all fake. It is all fake. Let me see here. Hawker Mustang in the building. What's up, my brother? Jake Paul called out Jorge Masvidal, but Masvidal refused. No, I just played the reply where Masvidal said, all you got to do is come up with the right amount of money, and I'm in there. And that's it. Oh, come on. No. Hawker Mustang. No. Let's be serious. I mean, this kid cannot take any. No, let's be serious. Come on. This is for you.
Stop it. Get some help.
No. Let's not do that, man. Let's not do that. I don't think that this kid beats any. You put him in there against a top 20 fighter in that weight division, he doesn't touch any of those guys. Period. Top 20. That last night, y'all, even because before the knockout, was that even a good fight? No, it wasn't. So, no. Let's stay away from those types of conversations when it comes to that. And moving on, we're going to try to keep it short and simple, nice and sweet. Moving on to, in my opinion, one of the most exciting boxing matches of 2021. Congratulations to British boxing fans. Congratulations to DAZN for doing such a great job up there. Congratulations to the British boxing fan for the atmosphere they create in those arenas. And congratulations to Joseph Parker and Mr. David War Chisora. My goodness, what a fight. What a fight. You know, when I started watching this fight, and right off the bat, Joseph Parker was just picking him apart. The lead right hand was there. The uppercuts was there. The lead left hook was there. The 1-2 was there. The one followed with a right hook to the body was there. Chisora kept leaning in, and Parker kept catching him with the uppercut. And what's crazy about it, when they say that Chisora has a granite chin, he has a granite chin. Oh, Ranger, he's been down. He has a granite chin. This fight, I thought it was going to be over after the first knockdown. And Chisora did something extremely smart. He'll get the countdown. He will act like he wasn't paying attention to the ref. Are you okay? He will turn around. Referee will have to chase him. He'll gain an extra 2-3 seconds out of that. Right? And then after the referee said go, he would go to the ropes, turn his back completely on Parker, and slowly walk to the corner and corner himself. He was gaining an extra 10-15 seconds on each knockdowns. And then with his back against the rope and his upper body movement, he was getting hit, but he was starting to throw some bombs. What Chisora did last night on, I believe it was the 9th round. No, the 11th round. When I thought it was going to be over. And the referee was close, ready to enter, get in the middle and end the action. He bit down on that mouthpiece, and I guess he said, look, I guess I'm going out, but I'm going to have to go out throwing bombs. He started throwing bombs and exchanging bombs. And Parker actually came to a stop and started picking his shots in the last 10 seconds, and it allowed Chisora to survive another round. If you're going to die throwing some bombs. It might win you another round. It might give you another round. That's what Chisora did last night. That's exactly what Chisora did last night. And man, I just got to tell you something. I've never been really much of a fan of neither of these fighters. But last night, both of those fighters, their styles came together and gave us a hell of a fight. A hell of a fight. There's no complaints about that heavyweight bout last night. It wasn't a hug fest. It wasn't a sluggish, slow, rhinus, nothing. You didn't have all of this leaning up on top of each other. It was a war. Joseph Parker worked the distances extremely well. His timing was extremely well. Was awesome. His timing was awesome. His uppercut, once again, his punch placements last night was just too good. His punch placement was good. And after that fight, man, I want to see something like that again. Maybe not between both of those fighters. Maybe not, because these fighters are not like elite heavyweights. But they're up there. They are up there. I don't know what your thoughts, but I actually enjoyed that fight a lot more than a lot of the heavyweight fighters we got in this country right now. I enjoyed that fight a lot more than Ruiz versus Arriola. A whole lot more. I enjoyed that fight even more than Sanchez versus Ajagbe. I just did. It was a hell of a fight. Chisora and Parker. Hell of a fight. And I want to see some more. Maybe, maybe not from both of them. But I wouldn't mind seeing that, I wouldn't mind seeing them again with other opponents. And hopefully, whoever they decide to fight have a very action-packed, friendly style of fighting. So when they come together, they can clash and give us a hell of a boxing match. That's just my wishes. It's just my wishes. I don't know about what your thoughts are. I personally enjoyed this fight. And now we're going to talk about an individual that's being promoted by Golden Boy. The last night was supposed to make a statement, but in reality, he didn't. An individual that has a whole lot of fans. And I know there's going to be a bit of hate to whoever sees this live stream. So I think it's fair that I give you a warning. And here it goes. Warning. Your feelings might get hurt. Viewers' discretion is advised. The following information may cause bleeding to brittle ears. If you are a fanboy and you ride on your emotions, please exit the live stream. You have been fairly warned. It's no secret that Zurdo Ramirez has been very carefully managed ever since going up to the 175-pound division. Now, in the 175-pound divisions, you got people like Bivol, you got people like Beterbiev that are still up there, hungry for blood, thirsty. You see what Beterbiev did to the brother on Friday. The only fighter with 100% knockout ratio right now as we speak. I'm going to get to the comments when I'm done, guys. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you guys. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. As always, you know, not only am I sick, but I'm old. I lose my train of thought really easy. So I'll get to the comments in a little bit. But Zurdo Ramirez comes into that weight division, and his introduction to that weight division, I believe it was Sullivan Barrera, a cherry pick, a Cuban fighter that has not had a very successful career because, quite frankly, the kryptonite of the Cuban fighter in America is not just the politics in boxing, but is the nightlife, if you know what I mean. We are Latinos and we like to party too much. And when a Cuban fighter lives in Florida, I don't care where in Florida, if you live in Florida within the 2 or 3 hour driving distance of Miami, Florida, to me, you're scratching at the gates of hell when it comes to your boxing career. Why? Because the culture is too rich. And the clubbing is too great. And the vampires that are supposed to be there to help you, instead of helping you, they come to you with the intent to help. They make you sign some dotted lines. Congratulations. You have sold your soul to the devil. Cubans destroying Cubans. I am Cuban. Before y'all even trip on talking about, oh, why are you talking about Cubans, Ranger? I'm Cuban. Not only am I Cuban, I know exactly what's going on with these fighters in Miami. I know exactly who screwed them. That is the reason you don't see me do a lot of interview of Cuban fighters, just a few. That is the reason you don't see me doing interviews with promoters that are Cubans. That is the reason that out of all of the Cuban trainers we have in the United States, I have only interviewed one, and that is because that is the one that stays away from the bull crap, that stays away from Miami, Florida. And that is Ismael Salas out of Las Vegas. Sullivan Barrera fought Zurdo Ramirez. How can I say this without revealing stuff that might get me in trouble? Because I'm quite frankly not authorized to share some things. Lance Myers in the building. Thank you for being here, brother. Javier Avila, what's up, brother? Let's just say that Sullivan Barrera, while training for a lot of his fights, a lot of his big-time fights, he was also dealing with a lot of legalities against these vampires that are Cubans just like him, that wanted a lot more than they initially had told him, that had the paperwork to legally take him to court and suck extra money out of him. They wanted more control over his assets. Because of this brought some type of little issues into his marriage. And now you have marriage issues as well. And let's just say a combination of problems across his career that didn't allow him to be successful. Zurdo Ramirez comes in, knocks him out. Really easy. Body shots, boom, boom, done. Last night, Zurdo Ramirez was fighting another washed out, well past his prime Cuban fighter in Unieski Gonzalez. And it's funny how Oscar de la Hoya has always had this extreme hate for Cuban boxers when it comes to promoting them. Because when he tried to promote Lara, he didn't do a good job. You know? But when it comes to feeding it to his fighters and they're past their primes, you know, this great Cuban boxers, they're great when they're being fed as cherry pick. But when they are top contenders to fight your fighters, well, you know, they're boring and they don't have a style, a fan-friendly style, and they don't really have a good backing or none of that stuff. So it's kind of crazy how the waves and the energy just shifts, right? Last night, Mr. Zurdo Ramirez, a fighter that's doing what he's got to do to keep climbing up the ranks. I don't know how many cherry picks he's going to fight. He's already been in that ring for 40-something fights. Last night, he was supposed to fight another cherry picking Gonzalez, another Cuban that's a victim of Cubans, a fighter that leading up to this fight could not even get a full training camp. Maybe 2-3 days out of the week he was able to train. The rest was dealing with issues. He got a cut in his left eyelid. He came into the fight with the eyelid not fully healed. If you see him coming into the ring, he's got the little strip on his eyelid. When he got to the corner, of course, they have to remove that. And a week before the fight, the trainer that he had worked a game plan with for this fight pulled a little stunt, and he had to drop him, and he had to get a trainer a week away from last night's fight. Unieski Gonzalez, that has been, he's been wronged inside that ring because he beat Jean Pascal. He got robbed against Pascal. Unieski Gonzalez was 36, almost 37, washed past his prime. The health issues that he's having, I wouldn't be fighting, to be honest with you. So that was supposed to be another cherry pick, but let's call it a great Cuban fighter. So we can have Zurdo Ramirez now knocking out two great Cuban fighters. But the cherry pick went wrong now, did it? The cherry pick went extremely wrong. And notice how the politics are so against Cuban fighters. Last night, the referee was protecting Zurdo Ramirez so much, it didn't matter what Gonzalez did. The referee got on him. In fact, referee took a point without a warning. And anytime Gonzalez would try to scrap in there, the referee would break the fight and tell him, fight clean. What can you do when you got the politics against you? What can you do? There ain't much you can do. Zurdo Ramirez last night showed all of those Canelo haters, all of them, that he's not ready for no Canelo. And you know what? I even thought if Canelo fights this kid might give him some problems. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to beat Canelo. No. But now, after last night's fight, after seeing how easily Unieski timed him, after seeing how easily Unieski's overhand right was landing, after seeing how easily the uppercut was landing, after seeing how easy the right hook followed with the right cross was landing from an old, washed Unieski Gonzalez with limited power, after seeing how he hurt Zurdo Ramirez several times during the fight, after seeing that after the fourth round, Unieski was completely gassed and still kept coming back and landing on this kid, after seeing all of that, now I think Canelo knocks him out inside 4 rounds. And so I know there's going to be a lot of people that are glorified Canelo haters that say, this is the guy that beats Canelo Alvarez. This is the guy. This is the reason Canelo Alvarez said he will not fight a Mexican fighter, because he's trying to avoid el señor Zurdo Ramirez.
Stop it. Get some help.
You guys are wrong. Don't let your hate blind you. Don't let your hate clog your understanding. Just don't let it happen. Zurdo Ramirez, what Zurdo Ramirez showed me last night, in my opinion, unless Bivol has a very bad night, Zurdo Ramirez is not ready for no Bivol in any way, shape, or form. Zurdo Ramirez, before going to Bivol, really, he should go in there with Smith. And then there's a good question. Can he beat Smith? Because, you know, my brother Smith, he's a blue collar worker. He's got the power. He's one of them construction rugged guys that's coming forward to get you out. Can he beat a younger fighter in Joe Smith? That is the question. Before you even think of putting Zurdo Ramirez in there with Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo Alvarez is not looking for no Zurdo Ramirez. Canelo Alvarez is looking for Beterbiev, the man in that division, the guy with 100% knockout ratio, the man that Canelo haters are calling a cherry pick for Canelo, by the way. And y'all know me. I tell it like it is when it comes to Canelo. I don't care. I'll tell you what I don't like about Canelo, and I'll tell you what I like about Canelo. But the kid right now, you can't hate on the kid. You got to give him props for all the boss moves he's doing. And so he's too much for Zurdo Ramirez right now. Zurdo Ramirez needs to keep eating cherries and then move from cherries to I don't know, wild nuts, and then get himself something very solid. Last night, Yunieski Gonzalez showed the world that this kid is no threat for Canelo Alvarez. And that's honestly speaking. That's honestly speaking. And I want to congratulate Miss Denise Estrada, man, for giving us a hell of a boxing match against Miss Santizo. Denise Estrada is the type of female boxer that will put butt on a seat. Denise Estrada is the type of female boxer that's doing what other female boxers are not doing. Denise Estrada is the one that's doing what fewer other boxers is doing, and that's putting girls on the canvas with vicious punches. And last night is crazy because the fight started. Santizo's in there in the game, you know. She's landing some good shots on Denise Estrada. Estrada's landing on her, you know, and then the round of the knockdown on the corner, she tells her corner, Santizo tells her corner, Estrada can't hit worth a that chick can't hit. She comes out, boom, and she gets dropped. And once Denise Estrada was able to identify, oh, if I can time her, this left hook is landing all day long. She kept working it. Another round went by. I believe another round went by. And then she landed it again. And that was all she wrote. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Denise Estrada is doing what female boxers, the majority of them, are not doing. Denise Estrada will put butt on the seats. Other female boxers won't. Last night, I had a very, very hard time watching Esparza versus Castillo. I had a very hard time watching that fight. I had a very hard time even trying to comment that fight. But when it came to Denise Estrada, Debo here says, to be fair, who has promoted Cuban fighters real good? Nobody. And that's why I said Cuban fighters. I said it last night. Cuban fighters are amongst the most hated fighters in the pro games. The boxing commentators the promotional companies, their own people in Miami. And when I say people, I'm not talking about the regular Joe Blows on the street, the fans. I'm talking about the Cuban promoters, some of the Cuban trainers. They're amongst the most hated boxers in the world. The receipts are there. Look at Gamboa's problems outside of the ring, and then look if those problems are against anything other than Cubans. Oh, Ranger, you're trying to no, just follow me on this one. Just follow me on this one. And then on top of that, add the criticism from the media. Remember when Gamboa was at 126 destroying anybody? Some days he was too good. Oh, too good for his opponent. Other days, well, why is he boxing? Other days, man, he can't take a punch. And we had a Gamboa that was a comfort fighter, boxer puncher, destroying everything in his way, and he was never good enough and never pleased the networks. Rigondeaux. Oh, he's boring. He won't engage. What happened? He said, I'm going to engage. 4 consecutive knockouts. Getting hit because he would stand there to hit his opponents. Knocks him out. He's still a boring fighter. He has no power, and he runs too much. The fight with Nonito comes. Oh, Nonito's going to destroy this fool. And I kept telling you guys, G-Funky will tell you if he's still here. I kept telling everybody back then, Guillermo Rigondeaux is going to destroy Nonito Donaire. And I had to fight the Pactards over this. And I had to fight all of his retractors over this. And once again, the proof is in the pudding. Rigondeaux got in there and schooled Nonito Donaire. Then nobody wanted to fight Rigo. Then Bob Arum made it a point to demote, not promote, demote Guillermo Rigondeaux. HBO made it a point to destroy Guillermo Rigondeaux's image by saying, we regurgitate when he hear his name. And so Rigondeaux, being the champion, being the man, he accepted a challenge from Omagaza in Japan, and he went to Japan instead of Omagaza coming to here. And he knocked out Omagaza, broke his orbital bone. And you know what they said? That was a cherry pick. Yeah. Omagaza, 5'11", rehydrated to 140 pounds the night of the fight, while Rigo was 127 pounds. He completely demolished Tion Kennedy. Oh, he's boring. It doesn't matter what they do. Cuban fighters are amongst the most hated fighters in the boxing world, hands down. Back to Denise Estrada because I'm hyped about this chick. I think the rematch with Estrada needs to happen. With Esparza needs to happen. This was a close fight. Esparza is tough enough to take the punishment. Esparza has very good amateur skills. And I think that if she comes back and beats Esparza in great fashion, it's gonna add to her stock even more. Moving on to another lady that does her thing, the queen of knockout, the Mrs. I don't know how many time world division champion. La boricua en candela, la mulata. Amanda Serrano. Miss Amanda Serrano does it again last night. And yes, she might have not gotten the brutal knockouts. You know, she took some good shots. But did y'all see her opponent's face after the fight? She looked like one of those Star Wars characters. You know, those rubber-faced Star Wars characters. One of those Mandalorian creatures. Her face really looked completely out of form. And she did her thing last night. Congratulations to her. Now there's no reasons as to why Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor should not be in that ring together. There's no reason for that. Serrano and Taylor needs to be next. Both fighters have done their due diligence. Both fighters have done enough. And now it's time for those two girls to collide in a major, major pay-per-view event. Whether they're the co-main event or the main event, I don't know. I guarantee you if the fight takes place in the zone, then Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor will have a good show, a good outing. You know how the zone right now is featuring other fighters and stuff. So I'm very pumped about this fight. I truly believe it's gonna happen. I hope it happens, to be honest with you. And we'll just have to wait and see who the victor is between both of those girls. And I'll reserve my predictions for another day. For another day. Moving on to the last fight I'm going to talk about in tonight's life. And then before I go into the comments, David Morrell Jr., regular WBA champion of the world, versus Mr. Fox. You know, guys, David Morrell Jr. is one of the guys that he's in a very good weight division, packed with talent. I mean, after all, it doesn't matter if Canelo has cleaned it. Can't nobody deny that Caleb Plant is a very decent boxer. Can't nobody deny that Benavidez is a boogeyman in that division. Berlanga, you can't deny Berlanga. He may not, in my opinion, Berlanga is not all that, but he's got the crowd. You know what I mean? He's got the exposure. He's got the knockouts, aka the monster. $200 a haircut. If Boo Boo Andre decides to make the jump, that'll be another talented fighter in the division. If Charlo makes the jump, like he's barking that he will, because he wants to fight Caleb Plant, that'll be another talented fighter coming into the division. And so David Morrell Jr. finds himself surrounded by tough oppositions. And yes, he's 6-0 with 5 knockouts. They're still moving him. The guy he fought last night wasn't no easy fight. He just made it look easy by simply timing him, picking his shots, punch placements. Obviously, the power was there. David Morrell Jr. did enough to get the job done in beautiful fashion. He was in there relaxed. Now, in my opinion, I got to be real with you. You know, that's my boy. I texted him last night. As a matter of fact, we're gonna work on getting him back on the show. I already had him here once. But I got to be real with you when it comes to my boy. I'm sorry, my throat's still killing me. I'm very happy that he left Miami. In fact, he was only in Miami for a few weeks. He came to the United States and went immediately to St. Paul, Minnesota. You ain't gonna find a lot of Cubans in St. Paul, Minnesota. You know, Cubans run away from the cold, let alone Minnesota type of cold. So he went to an area where the nightlife is not that powerful. He went to an area where the culture is not that strong. And he quickly surrounded himself not fully by Cubans. Although I believe the Cubas are doing a good job with Morrell Jr. And I'm very happy that now he's working with Ronnie Shields. And I'm also very happy that he's doing what he's doing. Whether you want to think that he deserves to, that he wasn't, that he should have never gotten the shot at the WBA regular title or not, that's completely irrelevant. He has no control of that. And any fighter that gets the shot, very few of them will turn it down. But he took the shot with just 3 professional fights. He beat a guy with that was 22-0. He beat him very easy. My wishes are that he fulfills his contracts and leaves PBC immediately. In my opinion, David Morrell Jr. should be fighting at least twice a year. At least twice a year. And if you push me, I will say 3 times a year. He's young enough. He's already got a regular belt around his waist. He should be fighting more. But my boy still got a lot of amateurish left in him. A lot of it. And I've told him, and I said it last night as well, he still has a lot of amateurish stuff he needs to get rid of. I told Alexei, his manager, as well. Or one of his managers. The guy that basically helped him come from Cuba. The guy that helped him come across the border from Mexico. Because he first lived in Mexico for 3 months. And then crossed over to the United States. In the same way, Giovanni Bruzon. He lived about 6 months in Mexico, started his professional career over there. And then Alexei put an attorney, an immigration attorney. And the immigration attorney got him a 20-year visa, a 20-year work visa to come to the United States using their professional records. Same thing with Yoelvis Gomez. A fighter that you'll see the kind of mule kick he packs on both hands. He inherited the power from his father. But let's not talk about them just yet, because don't nobody know them. But my boy has a lot of amateur stuff. The first thing I want my boy to get rid of is all that gentleman crap that make you do on the amateur games. And you got to be a dog in there sometimes. Forget all that glove, handshaking stuff inside the ring. David Morrell Jr. is a beast, and therefore he must behave as one. All that polite stuff, man, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. In my opinion, David Morrell Jr. is the boogeyman of the division right now. Don't believe me? Ask Benavidez. And people last night were saying, well, Benavidez, he's still too fresh. I mean, Benavidez is gonna destroy him. And I say to you that if you think the Benavidez is going to destroy this kid, I mean, aside from this being boxing where anything can happen, the punch you don't see coming puts you out and ends your night. I tell you, the styles make fight, and this is not the style that favors Benavidez. This is not the type of guy that's going to act in the same way most of Benavidez' opponents act. And what is that, Ranger? Oh, let me stand in front of Benavidez, scared of him, with my hands up, completely stationary, so that he can land and knock me out. This ain't going to happen. That's not David Morrell Jr. David Morrell Jr. is a fighter that knows how to work the 3 distance with ease. All 3 distances, he can work them with ease. He can close the gap before you know it. He's done it. All you got to do is look at his amateur fights. He does the same thing as a professional. He closes the distance with a very slick jab. He puts a nice optical illusion on there. Before you know it, he's in front of you. He knows how to slip those little hooks in there. And you think he's just going to stay there and allow Benavidez to just land those 8-punch combinations and then double hooks to the body with an uppercut and just knock him out? I said the same thing about Canelo. Canelo ain't going to stand there in front of David Benavidez and allow Benavidez to do whatever he wants. Canelo's going to destroy Benavidez. Now, this doesn't mean Benavidez is not a hell of a fighter. Don't get me wrong. Control your emotions. Think. Be rational with me. Put on your boxing thinking cap. All this simply means that although Benavidez is a hell of a fighter, Canelo is way better than him. And dare I say, and time will prove me right, In the same way, he proved me with Nonito Donaire and Rigondo that I told you guys when Rigondo had just 2 professional fights, this man will destroy Nonito Donaire. And everybody laughed and said, oh, you're saying that because he's Cuban and you're Cuban too, you fanboy. I'm telling you right now, styles make fight. And this kid, if he fights David Benavidez, it's not going to be an easy night for Benavidez. In fact, it's not going to be a victorious night for Benavidez unless Benavidez gets him out of there or drops him 3 or 4 times throughout the fight. Guaranteed. And time will prove me right. Don't think this kid having 6 fights, he's just going under the radar. Ain't nobody paying attention. People are paying attention to this guy. David Benavidez himself is paying attention to this guy. David Benavidez himself will tell you that this guy is the guy to look after. He'll tell you that. And so I'm very excited about about Morrell Jr. I hope his career keeps moving on. My boy, tiene que salirte de Al Heyman. You got to leave Al Heyman. Tienes que dejarlo. You got to leave him. I understand. If you don't want to leave him, you got to request more fights. Tienes que pedirle más pelea. Keep moving on. They got to keep it moving. And I hope to see the Benavidez fight within the next 2 years. If Benavidez is still at 168. Because that's another one. Will he remain at 168? That's the one to look after. David Morrell Jr. David Morrell Jr. will be a force to be reckoned with at the 168-pound division. And ladies and gentlemen, let's go on and get caught up with the comments. I have not been ignoring you guys. Let's get caught up with the comments here. Hopefully some of you are still here. I talk a lot sometimes. Let's get caught up with the comments and build from there. Mr. G Funky Boxing in the building. Everybody go and subscribe to brother G Funky Boxing in the building. Not impressed with the Paul. Needs to fight a real boxer. I agree, sir. HLD, what's up, my brother? Once again, Tony Boswell, I've already given you a shout out. I don't think people are saying, I've already read this comment. Let's see. Maldito licor, damn liquor. Morrell Jr. versus Benavidez. Make it happen. Let's sign it. I'll sign for that. Paul versus Anderson Silva is a good fight. Yes, sir, but that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. Paul's trying to stay undefeated. He's trying to stay undefeated. He ain't going to have that. Are you kidding me? He ain't going to have that. Mr. Hawker Mustang, Jake Paul. Oh, yeah, I've seen this one already. I think he can take on Charlo. No, cocaine's a hell of a drug, fam. Don't say that. Don't say that. Get some help, Hawker Mustang. You know that. Hawker Mustang, you've been on this YouTube stuff with me way too long to be saying something like that. You've been out here way too long, my brother. Way too long to be saying something like that. Come on, man. You've been watching boxing way too long to say such travesty like this. Come on, my man. Come on, my man. Jorge Masvidal said no to boxing. Well, he said no to boxing, but he also said if he comes up with the money that I'm worth, I'll take the fight. So far, that's not the case. Slide and count. I wouldn't mind seeing Parker versus William. That's a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that one either. I love the fight that he gave us with Chisora. Absolutely did. Parker versus Chisora. These cards were horrible. They really tried to rob Parker. They tried, but they couldn't. The fight wasn't horrible. I don't know about the card in general. I'm talking about that fight specifically. That fight Can't nobody say that fight was horrible. Haka Mustang, come on, my man. What's wrong with you? Of course they're going to try to rob Parker. You heard the crowd. Oh, David Chisora. Oh, David Chisora. Chisora was on his campgrounds, man. Come on. Of course they're going to try to rob Parker. But Parker made sure that the fight didn't go to the judge's hands with just that ease. Yeah, you're going to have the fight in your hand, but let me tell you something. I left you no way out. There's no way you can rob me. You can make it a little closer than he was, but you are not robbing me because I destroyed this man on every single round. Facts. People said Usyk was overrated. They say this. They said he struggled with Chisora. No, I say that Chisora is a very crafty veteran, and Usyk was just making his introduction to the heavyweight division. I mean, come on, guys, let's be real here. You have a fighter that uses a lot of movement with a lot more weight in him against a guy that's rough, that's rugged. But then you saw that Usyk against AJ. Come on, man, let's be real. Let's be real. Focused guy, what's up, my brother? What's up? Listening from Detroit. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Haven't been in Detroit in a while, man. I used to go to Detroit, Dearborn. What's that other place in Michigan that I used to go to? Fowlerville, Michigan. I used to go to Fowlerville, Michigan a lot. I haven't been in Michigan in a good 3 years now. 3 years. So yeah, Javier Avilas plus no PPV 2. Not sure what you meant by that, but if you're still here, you can clarify. Fast Eddie Hearn said DC could beat Wilder. Listen, man, let's keep moving on. Eddie Hearn gonna do what Eddie Hearn does. Let's just put it that way. Lance Maya in the building. What is going on, my brother? Thank you for being here. Debo. Zurdo gets beat by every champ except maybe Smith. Smith is reckless, but Smith, I don't know. I have my questions about Smith when it comes to Zurdo. What I seen last night, I don't know. I really don't know that he's ready. Funky Boxing, Ramirez ain't that dude. Facts. That's just facts. To be fair, who has promoted Cuban fighters real good? Nobody. Yeah, I've seen that one already. Damn, you went all in and watched all these fights? Yes, I did. I had multiple windows open in my computer last night. And you just don't appreciate a brother. I went live. A lot of y'all didn't even made it to the live stream. I put in the hard work. You guys just don't appreciate. Oh, but when I take a month break, y'all be sending me a message. Hey, man, we really miss your videos, man. We really miss your insight. When you coming back, Ranger? Hey, man, but with Ranger's back, y'all don't even support the brother. That's fine. I do it for one person in the same way, the same energy. I do it for 100, man. I like Gamboa back in the days. Yeah, I mean, everybody loved Gamboa except the media and the promoters and the commentators. And that's just a fact. Cubans are beautiful boxers, bro, but Cuban people don't support them. Facts. Facts. That I'm not arguing that at all. In fact, you got Cubans that would rather get a link than pay a pay-per-view fight when a Cuban fighter is the co-main event or the main event of the night. That's a hit. That's a negative. That's a negative for us. So I don't dispute that at all. In fact, I don't even dispute that in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form. I remember I predicted Rigo to beat Donaire. Yes, sir. I know, man. You and I was battling all them Pactards and all them Pacroids and all them haters. Oh, man, that went ugly. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all thought Glovegate conspiracy was bad, when me, G Funky, some of the members of today's LWBC, like Dante and Arab Pimp, what we went through dealing with our predictions on this fight, how people made it racial, it was horrible. But you know what? There came fight night. And everything went our way, man. That's just it. Rigo, it's caviar. Yeah, except Rigo adopted a very ignorant mindset. And I can't blame him. I remember before he fought the Venezuelan guy, the guy that gave him a good fight, I forgot the name, where he said on an interview to Jorge Ebro, or it might have been Willie Suarez, one of those two guys. He said, from now on, I've done everything. I have exchanged and I've gotten hit. I've been down, I've gotten up and knocked them out. I've beaten top dogs and I'm still getting criticized. So from now on, I'm going to fight my way, whether they like it or not. And that's what he did. He put on his amateur boxing cap and went in there to do the type of fight that the professional boxing fan doesn't appreciate. And quite frankly, even if he was a brawler, they still would have not appreciated. They still would have criticized him. Because a lot of the professional boxing fans, and a lot of the casual boxing fans, whatever Jim Lampley used to say, whatever Larry Merchant used to say was the Bible, was facts. And they hated on this kid really bad. Especially the night he destroyed Nonito Donaire. D. Bose here says he may go 12 like Colin Smith. That's a good fight. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Colin Smith versus Zurdo Ramirez. That would be a heck of a fight, actually. A very interesting fight. And Colin Smith is in that weight division right now. Colin Smith is in that weight division now. So it's time to make it. Haka Mustang here says, white fighters are heated too. I hate it too. Go watch the LWBC to see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But see, the difference is, Haka Mustang, it's a very specific group hating on white fighters. But Cuban fighters is hated by the media, by the press, by the promoter, and by a very large sector of the boxing fans. And Haka Mustang, you've been out here with me since, I don't know if you're still here, but post what year you subscribed to me. It might have been 2010. You've been out here with me. You've seen what I've gone through every time I made a video about a Cuban fighter. You read the comments. In fact, some of the videos are still up on the channel. Just go back and read the comments and see if I'm just blowing smoke out of my head. The proof is in the pudding. It's all there. I'm not the guy to delete videos, even when I'm wrong. It's still there. Still there. So, but I agree with that too. I agree with that too. Especially now, boy, them white boys is killing it. Ooh. Let's see. Tyson Fury, white fighter. Who else? Last night, Paul versus white fighter. Cambosos, white fighter. Canelo, white Mexican. Beterbiev, white Russian. Bivol, white / Asian Russian or Mongolian Rose. You know, Russia has a lot of Mongolians mixed in it. And they killing it. The undisputed at 140. Josh Taylor, white fighter. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the LWBC that's not happy right now, to be honest with you. Beterbiev is that dude. Yes, sir. I read that one already. True. The GOAT, El Chivo, Mario P. Zurdo keeps taking out the cans they feed him. He's doing his job. Well, of course, he's doing his job. Nobody's denying that. But what we are denying, that this is the man that's going to beat Canelo. What we are denying, that he's going to beat Bivol. If he beats Bivol, congratulations. But I don't think he'll beat Bivol, to be honest with you. Shoeshine Boxing in the building. Everybody go check them out. They got a show every Monday night. 7:30 Pacific, I believe it is. Make sure to tune and give him a shot. And if you like the content, subscribe and activate the notification bell. Help the brother out. Help them out. Saludos Raw in chat. I hope everyone had a great weekend with the fam for Christmas. We're having a good one, sir, except that we are sick. And she a cutie too. Are you talking about Sinise Estrada or are you talking about Amanda Serrano? Because either way, you're right. Either way, you're right. They probably gonna let it marinate. You're talking about Benavides and Morrell, and I agree. I have to agree with that. Edgar Berlanga will be easy for David Morrell. Thank you, sir. Miami has lots of bad influence. Yes, sir. Lots of it. Whitney Cook. These channels keep coming over and posting these links to stop it. Matter of fact, let me go and put you where you belong. The hell out of here. Who's buying the Ortiz versus Martin fight? Me, probably. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Is Ortiz a boring heavyweight? No. He gives us knockouts. Don't nobody want to fight Ortiz either. So I got to give Martin a lot of credit. Look at the interview Ortiz just, well, except that it's in Spanish, but it does have English subtitles. They do have English subtitles. Where he said that 4 different fighters have turned him down, including Dillian White. And they said, well, aren't you worried about ring rust? He looked at the guy and said, don't you see where I'm at every single day, 3 times a day? He lives in the ring because he knows he's at an age where he's got to stay active. He got to stay active. But I'll probably be buying that fight. Alex Gonzalez, yes, Zurdo looked bad. Zurdo's defense is lacking. And at his age, he needs to start boxing more and stop trading on the inside because he is going to get KO'd like that. David Morrell Jr. is dangerous. It's a dangerous fight for anyone. Also, Richards at 168 is a problem for anyone. He easily outboxes. Yeah. He's gonna be a problem. Jesus M in the building. What's up, my brother? Thank you for being here. Who will you match Morrell Jr. next? Bubu Andrade. Let's make it happen. Bubu Andrade's coming to 168, they said. So let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Because I know Berlanga is not gonna take it because that's a fight they're marinating to make it in the future and get some money out of it. Caleb Plant will not take it either. See, that's the problem with Berlanga right now. Although he's that good and he's got a belt, financially, he offers no benefit to none of the top guys. It's a lot of risk with very little rewards. And I, as a boxing fan, have to understand that. In the middle of me wanting all of these fights to happen, I understand that. I can't go against that. Jake, fixed fight? No, sir. It's not a fixed fight. That was not a fixed fight. No, sir. That was not a fixed fight. Morrell versus Richards next. He can give Morrell a very good fight, and he's experienced. He needs. Oh, that could be a good one. That could be a very good one. I don't want to see Woodley in any combat sport fight. That's the reason Dana White took him out of the UFC, because he got to the point where he was kind of like, whatever. Paul versus Nico Ali. Oh, come. Paul versus Nico Ali. My goodness. Paul versus Nico Ali. Hell no. Joseph Torres in the building. What's up, my brother? Canelo versus Ramirez is a great fight, Raw Boxing TV. It might be, but I'm just saying he's not the guy that's going to beat Canelo. He's not. I doubt it. I'm not denying that it could turn out to be a good fight, a slugfest, a big ticket seller, especially if he happens in Mexico City. But I just don't think he's the man to beat Canelo. I really don't. Guillermo, nobody loves Rigondo. Facts. Mark Nash in the building. What is going on, my brother? Everybody check the brother out. Mark Nash. King Nello beating all these dudes. It's his time. Yours too, my G. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much. Oh, the wifey feeling sick. Look at her. She's feeling sick. Man, I've gotten everybody sick in my household. Everybody. I got my kids sick. I got everybody sick in my household. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have reached that point where I start saying goodbye. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys for the support. I will be dropping a video tomorrow on the Ugas versus Spence situation. I'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I think it's there's a lot to talk about in that subject. A whole lot to talk about in that subject. So I want to thank those of you that supported the live stream tonight. You're welcome, sir. You're welcome. I want to thank all of those of you that supported the live stream tonight. If you have not hit the thumbs up, you still have time. Please hit the thumbs up so that YouTube can send the notifications and people can watch the live stream on the archives. Grab the link, drop it in your social media platform. I would greatly appreciate it so that the channel can get a little bit of exposure out there. That has been it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Raw Boxing TV. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.